Did that really just happen right now? Did the Raptors, the short-handed Raptors, really just come back and beat the Dallas Mavericks being down 30 at the 2:32 mark of that third quarter? This is the Airborne Podcast. I'm your host, Ajith. And wow, just wow, was North Philly's finest and absolute stud in that fourth quarter. Almost getting a triple-double with 32 points, 32 points, 8 rebounds with 10 assists. And that was a vintage performance, an all-time Raptors performance, one of the best performances in franchise history, and definitely one of the best games in franchise history. Probably the best game so far of the season. The way they came back, I wouldn't say the best game, but the best fourth quarter of the season. I can put my money on that one. The way they came out there and that lineup, even though it's not something that's very normal to see for a Raptors fan, they came out there and played their asses off. That defense, the way they were deflecting, getting deflections, block shots, just hounding people on full court press. Like, it was just such a beauty to see. The Raptors, that lineup of Rondae Hollis-Jefferson, Malcolm Miller, Terrence Davis, Kyle Lowry, and Chris Boucher. Nick Nurse, sometimes he looks like a fool, but on most nights he looks like an absolute genius. They literally, with like 10 minutes left, it was a game. Like in a 4-minute span from the end of the third quarter to the fourth quarter, to the start of the fourth quarter, they made it like a 15-point game. They cut the deficit in half. And even though it was very close at the end with, Brunson and Porzingis making some plays to make it a 1-point possession, we pulled it out. Chris Boucher went at the end and knocked down those 2 free throws to make it a 3-point game. Dallas didn't have a timeout, and they had to heave up a shot, and they missed. That was absolutely embarrassing to watch on Dallas Mavericks side. And I know a lot of Raptors fans probably turned the TV off after the third quarter because they thought it was over. But most Raptors fans were probably ticked off watching it, thinking that this game was done. It looked like one of those games you just kind of trash out and on to the next one. And for us, fortunately, if that was the case, we do have a back-to-back with Indiana's game tomorrow, where we travel to Indiana to play them. But we were able to get the W, shorthanded or not. That was an amazing performance. And you saw that bench mob 2.0 come out. The same bench mob that showed out when Kyle Lowry and Serge Ibaka were out. They came out tonight, and they showed why they know how to play. They know how to play basketball, and when it matters most, they don't choke under pressure. And Malcolm Miller, I was about to talk a lot about him on a negative end, and based on his last performance against the Wizards, because he just looked absolutely lost. Tonight, he did look like that. He did look like that in the first half, but in that fourth quarter, he was getting deflections, getting steals. He was passing the ball to the right person, and he was good. He did miss some couple crucial open threes that we could have used, but you live and you learn. Kyle Lowry, for a team that was shooting 3 of 17 as a whole in that first half from beyond the arc, Kyle Lowry had 5 threes at the end of the game alone, and he was a man that was possessed. He was literally a man possessed. He didn't care who was guarding him. He was going to get a basket. And it didn't matter if they put on Finney-Smith or Brunson or even Porzingis on the switch. Lowry was getting step-back threes, getting and ones in the paint, and just knocking down free throws. I mean, this is that performance that you expect from a vintage Kyle Lowry, when he puts the team on his back, when he knows the odds are against him and he doesn't have his soldiers with him, and he just goes and he gets the W. When you doubt him, he comes through. And what a way to end a Sunday night, even though it's only 6 o'clock. We're going to break down the stats for you right now, starting off with the hometown team, the Toronto Raptors. To start the game, we were actually winning 20-17 to end the first quarter. But the issue was our shooting was horrible, along with Dallas, but they were able to stay in the game because of our terrible shooting. We were up 12 at one point in that quarter, but they were able to stick around. And then the second and third quarter is where, everything went wrong for the Raptors. They couldn't get a bucket for their life. And the Raptors their defense was nasty. It was absolutely disgusting. No one was guarding. You could see their body language was not there. Like, the defense was not there based on their body language. You could tell. And they let the Dallas Mavericks blow it open. And that's how we were down 30 by basically the end of the third quarter. But something happened in that fourth quarter, and they were able to make a run. And the Mavericks were not able to stop the bleeding. And even though they got some crucial buckets from time to time, the overall bleeding did not stop, because Kyle Lowry would come back to the other end and score a crucial bucket for us. And the final play was a Chris Boucher dunk before Dallas got the possession back, where Brunson missed that shot. And they were a little discombobulated on the last play. Like, Porzingis didn't know what to do, and the Brunson ended up taking that shot, and Boucher got got the rebound, then got fouled, and then knocked down the 2 free throws to basically ice the game. But that second and third quarter, as I mentioned, we were outscored 69-43, basically. We got outscored in the second quarter 34-22, and in the third quarter we got outscored 35-21. Now, the fourth quarter, we almost had a 50-piece. We scored 47 points that quarter, and they only scored 21, and we ended up winning the game only by 3, 110-107. I told you already, Kyle Lowry flirted with the triple-double. He did have a double-double with 32 points, 10 assists, and 8 boards to go along with that. Overall, the stats, I don't really need to read everyone's tonight, because no one else did well except for that lineup that was basically in. Malcolm Miller didn't do much, but his stats are more like something you can't see in the scoreboard. But with the main guys, you could say Rondé in 29 minutes, that guy was a dog on the defensive end. In 29 minutes, he had 18 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists, 6 of 13 from the field, and 6 of 6 from the free throw line with the steal. Chris Boucher, he had a career high, 21 points, 7 rebounds in 24 minutes, 6 of 12 from the field, 9 of 12 from the free throw line, and he took a three-pointer, but didn't make it. He had 2 steals. He had some key deflections in that fourth quarter. He had 2 huge blocks on the three-point line, and he had 4 blocks overall. He was out there. He was out there. You saw him. He was running around all over the court. And he did have, the only flaw about his game tonight was he missed a few free throws, three free throws to be exact, but it wasn't at crucial moments of the game, so I'm not going to complain too much about that. Terrence Davis, in 23 minutes, he had 9 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 of 4 from the field, and 3 of 3 from the free throw line, 2 of 3 from the three-point line with a steal. Now, it doesn't look like he did much, but he definitely sparked that run in that fourth quarter. I don't know why he didn't play that much to begin with, because he only played like 13 or 14 minutes, or maybe even 15 before the fourth quarter. And yeah, I mean, I was surprised. I don't know, because I didn't really see him play much in the beginning. Patrick McCaw played in the first quarter very well. He hit 2 big threes for us to start the game, and he had a key steal in that first quarter where he gave the pass to Anunoby for a layup on Porzingis. Well, that's pretty much what he did. He had, in 26 minutes, he had 8 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 3 of 6 from the field, and 2 of 4 from the free throw line. He did have 4 steals tonight, so that's big. And Fred VanVleet, he's still coming back from the injury, so I'm not going to hound him too much about what happened tonight. 28 minutes, 10 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 of 13 from the field, 5 of 6 from the free throw line, and 1 of 7 from the three-point line. He did come back with like 1:37 left in that last quarter, in the fourth quarter, because they needed another ball handler out there to get Kyle Lowry off the ball, because you could see they were trying to blitz him a lot and double team him. Malcolm Miller, 17 minutes, 0 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 0 of 4 from 3, no free throw attempts, 0 of 2 from the three-point line with 3 steals. So like I said, on the defensive end, he was doing pretty well. Wasn't doing a lot in the first quarter, like I said, but man, they all stepped it up in that fourth quarter. And Nick Nurse deserves a lot of praise tonight, because he went with that lineup, even though it's not something that's, normal, but it worked. And he might look like a fool on some nights doing crazy things like that, where the night doesn't go our way. But tonight he looks like an absolute gem with the way the game ended. And for the Dallas Mavericks, you saw Mark Cuban on the bench there. He was trying to complain here and there. And talking about complaining, the refs were really bad tonight too. Like, you could see we were getting hit so many times and the calls weren't going our way. And I don't know if it's because these new refs just don't know what they're doing, or if they're not looking at, if they're still learning and they're not looking in the right places. But you could see that these young refs do not know what they're doing, and they're missing a ton of calls. The old guys are retiring now and the new guys are training. So Porzingis has been on a tear since Luka Doncic has been out. And tonight wasn't one of his best nights, but he did have 19 points with 12 rebounds in 36 minutes. 5 of 15 from the field, 33%. Wasn't really efficient. 6 of 7 from the free throw line, 83%. That's around the season average. And 3 of 9 from 3. 33% from 3, not great. With 1 steal, 3 blocks. The only highlight I can remember from him was in that, towards the end of that second quarter, leaning towards halftime, where he hit that buzzer, that 3-pointer at the buzzer from the parking lot. Only thing I can remember from what he did tonight. Dwight Powell, the Canadian, shout out to that guy. 30 minutes, 17 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, 6 of 9 from the field, 3 of 5 from the 3 of 5 from the free throw line, and 2 of 4 from the 3-point line, with 1 steal, 1 block, 2 turnovers. He did, his presence was felt in that first quarter and in that second quarter, but faded away in that second half. I would say faded away in that fourth quarter. I think he played well in the third quarter, to be honest. Tim Hardaway Jr., him and Finney Smith were wiling out. Don't blame them because of the way the game was going, but don't wild out like that with that much time left on the clock. In this generation, in this era of the NBA, with the amount of 3-point shots that are taken and made, any lead is bound to disappear. Whether it's 20 points, 30 points, 20 more than 30, but still, you saw what we did tonight, so it's possible. So to any future teams out there that start celebrating too early, double think that before you do so. Brunson was the replacement for Doncic in the starting lineup. In 34 minutes, he had 21 points, 4 rebounds, 9 assists, 8 of 14 from the field, 3 of 3 from the free throw line, and 2 of 5 from the 3-point line with 1 steal. Tim Hardaway, 35 minutes, 16 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 6 of 19 from the field, 2 of 2 from the free throw line, 2 of 9 from the 3-point line with 2 steals. Former Raptor DeLon Wright, 19 minutes, 5 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 of 7 from the field, 2 of 2 from the free throw line, and 1 of 4 from the 3-point line with 1 steal. He wasn't as effective as he was in that first game. And Seth Curry, since he's Steph Curry's brother, I'm going to give him some love here. 18 minutes, 1 point, 0 rebounds, 4 assists, 0 of 7 from the 0 of 7 from the field, 1 of 1 from the free throw line because he had a technical that they made, which is the only point he had the whole game, and 0 of 4 from the 3-point line. All right, everyone else is basically irrelevant. Well, Finney Smith, I didn't mention him. In 33 minutes, 14 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 5 of 6 from the field, 1 of 2 from the free throw line, and 3 of 4 from the 3-point line. He had some big threes in that first half and even in that third quarter, but unfortunately it didn't work out for them. And Mavericks fans all over the world are just shaking their head or hitting their head, whatever you want to call it. But overall, I'm going to get into the stats, though, because I want to know, for a team that shot 3 of 17, and I'm referring to the Raptors when I say this, in that first half from the 3-point line, no shot was going in. Like, the offense looked absolutely garbage. It was hard to watch. Any Raptors fan can attest to that. It was absolutely garbage. I wanted to stop watching the game, if I'm being honest. Like, I'm being completely honest. I wanted to stop watching the game. And that fourth quarter, just those 12 minutes alone basically made me that's what saved the game for me to finish watching it. Like, I didn't want to finish watching the game. I was going to start the podcast early because I thought there was no way the Raptors were going to come back. Like, they gave no indication at all in those first 3 quarters that this was going to go the Raptors' way. Even when we did have the lead in that first quarter, the way our shots were not falling, it didn't feel like the Raptors were in a good place. And that's what it felt like after 3 quarters. But now they proved that if you can get your stuff together in 1 quarter, anything is possible. Field goal percentage, the Raptors, 39% as a team. 37 to 94 from the field. Mavericks, same thing, 39%, but they were 35 and 90 from the field. 3-point shooting. Raptors only shot 10 three-pointers. Yeah, they only made 10 three-pointers, 10 out of 34, 29%. If they just hit 2 more threes, everyone could have got free fries. But unfortunately, that did not happen. Let's not get greedy now, right? The W is what matters most. Dallas Mavericks, 15 of 46 from the three-point line. They shot 33%. Free throws, 26 of 31 from the Raptors, 84%. And Mavericks, 22 of 27 for 82%. Rebounds were not that different tonight. I mean, we were pretty close in rebounding. We had 51. They had 53. Offensive rebounding was tied, 14 apiece. Assists wasn't one of our best games. We usually average around 25 to 30. Tonight we only had 21. Dallas had 27, but we know why we didn't have more because we missed so many open shots. Steals, we had 12, basically dedicated to that fourth quarter alone. Their majority of those steals came in that quarter. And maybe the first quarter. So we had 12 steals, they had 6, we had 5 blocks, they had 4, we only had 10 turnovers. Talk about taking care of the ball. And they had 17. We only had 21 fouls, they had 22. We had a tech, I believe, and they didn't. Or did they? I'm not sure. Can't remember, but all in all, I'm going to go back and watch the game again. Well, not the whole game, definitely just the fourth quarter. And I'm going to go read all the comments in the Dallas Mavericks Bleacher Report side because I know there's a lot of people out there frustrated. Them blowing the 30-point lead. That was our biggest comeback in Raptors franchise history. The last one before that was a 25-point lead back in 2010 where Jared Bayless took over in Detroit. And you know us, we've had Detroit's number probably ever since that whole dynasty got broken down. Not dynasty, but the Chauncey Billups era. Once that got broken down, after that, we basically had their number since. All right, well, Raptors travel to Indiana tomorrow for a back-to-back. Hopefully they can take care of business because, you know, Indiana is one of those teams that are competing with us for the top seeds. And Milwaukee's at the top of the top, and they look like they're an oiled engine, fully functioning, ready to go, going to blow through the East and the West and get that top seed for the playoffs. So we're focused on anywhere from 2 to 5. Well, 2 to 4, to be honest. I want to get home court. Raptors have had home court for the last, 6 years. So I'm hoping that streak continues. But we shall see. The future is inevitable. Not even inevitable. Oh, my God. What am I saying? The future is we don't know yet, right? We don't know when everyone's coming back, but we'll see. That's going to do it for now. Thanks for everyone tuning in. Continue the support and the love. Hit your boy with the subscribe button. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you enjoy hearing this content, leave a like on the video. And we'll see you back here for the Indiana post-game podcast. Till then, stay blessed, stay woke, and peace.